Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Thanks for joining. This is going to be my Thrive Heavy Lies the Crown playthrough. This is episode 1 in our series. Um, Thrive is a city builder with RTS element game, and we are going to try and keep these 20 to 30 minutes. And also, disclaimer, this is my first time recording myself actually playing a game in any kind of capacity, so we are definitely going to have some early struggles as I try and fill the awkward, in between times when buildings are being constructed or we're waiting for farmers to gather resources. So we will try our best to keep the commentary moving and yeah, learn some things about the game. We are going to be doing the single player campaign with the narration enabled. I have done the tutorial and a couple hours of just a one-off campaign to kind of familiarize myself with the buildings and kind of how the early game flow will go. So I'm not kind of fumbling around, reading text descriptions of buildings, trying to, remember what does what and what kind of needs my farmers are going to need. So that should help streamline us. Along with the enabled narration, we should have a pretty clean start to finish campaign. And as you can see, this is Nysamor, where we can select our starting province. The only real difference between the provinces, as far as I can tell, is one, the name, and then the geography layout of each province. They all have the same starting resources, and then, based on where it's located at, the smaller provinces that will pop up around it will have a variety of additional resources that you will kind of see as the game progresses. So I went ahead and got our starting flag, although we'll change the color up, something a little more vibrant. And we will call this save file the real deal, as there will be no going back. You wouldn't even believe how many times I've gone through that intro alone, and I finally got to a point where I was like, you know what, screw it, we're full sending it, no going back. So no SWIA, and difficulty is going to stay at normal. Like I said, I have not played this game enough to even attempt hard. I really can't even tell you what hard entails. I'm sure the AI is probably a little more aggressive, and just from past city builders I've played, the happiness level of your people is probably a lot harder to maintain, and there's probably some severe penalties throughout the game as well that can arise. So we're gonna stick with normal. Again, I just want this to be a clean playthrough, and try and keep these episodes 20 to 30 minutes long so they're a little easier to watch. Enabled narration. This will give us pop-ups and random events throughout the campaign that will force us to make choices for our kingdom, and kind of lead us down a path of being a benevolent ruler and or tyrannical ruler. So I've chosen the same path in all of my previous short playthroughs, including the tutorial, so we are going to select a different route this time. 2 months since the fall of Aldemore, since you gathered up the survivors and set forth toward a new home. Nysamor is the future, a land free from the terrors of the past. Here you will raise up a new kingdom, guided by the loyal advisors who form your curia. Your advisors are quite knowledgeable, but none can deny their own self-interest. Each has a plan for your reign. In the end, you alone must set the tone of your rule. Where do your interests lie? So we can rise with vigilance, scarred but unbroken. Prosperity's pursuit ensures a bountiful future. Or where wisdom is grown, little fear remains. I've chosen prosperity every time, so I think I am going to go with vigilance this time around. give myself something fresh and new. Skip the tutorial. We already kind of know what we're doing in the early stages of the game. No promises for the later game. You guys might have to help me out as these episodes go. You can drop some comments and kind of give me any tips. So let's scout the province a little bit here. A lot of open land there. A lot of open land there as well. Okay, got open land everywhere. Cool. And our road out of here is to the south, so we are more than likely gonna build to the south. And it's probably not a coincidence that this middle area is wide open for us to start, so we are not going to travel around and waste time. We will place our keep. This is the central hub of our kingdom from which we will expand out, and our kingdom will grow from this point on. This caravan out of the way. It's not needed at this point in time, other than the resources, the initial resources it brought for us. As you can see, this icon above all of my people, they do not have homes. They are homeless till we can get them a little bit of a neighborhood district of sorts. Also, before I do that, we will give something to do while we build the neighborhood district. We will place in a logger camp, a quarrier camp for logs and stone, and they will need a primitive stockpile to store those in. Primitive stockpile cost us nothing, just 5 gold upkeep. So our builders will get going on that, and once that is completed, we should be able to employ all 6 slots here, and our farmers will get to work. While that's going, we will take a look down here and kind of get some housing. Yes. This is a food store, provides food for all of our homes. And we are going to need a primitive stockpile as well over here. There are some items, not just food, our people will need. There will be other goods to keep them happy, so we will place a second primitive stockpile and a well. That feels good. That feels right. And what I like to do is build roads around these kind of core structures. I want to utilize this area of influence around all 3 of them as much as I can, so we will kind of give ourselves the ability to build around them quite close and compact like. Get some houses. And I feel like this is probably a good start. And if you're wondering why I left these gaps, if you haven't already guessed, this is where I will kind of branch out from to continue the neighborhood district. First couple times I played through, I thought it was more efficient to build everything back to back to back, and what ended up happening is just concentric circles of roads around everything, which was pretty ineffective for my farmers to navigate. And it looked cool for sure, but was not efficient. So last structure we have is a wood chopper available to us. This will convert the logs to firewood. So we will get our builders going on that as well. What that's going to do for us, it is an advanced need that we will need. As you can see, our house is only big enough for one farmer to live at currently. We do have an unoccupied spot that is not behind a locked um, need. All this requires is for us to have firewood placed in it, and it will be able to support 2 farmers. So we will get our labor force on that, well as the rest of these buildings. So I did this in my other game, jobs. So logger camp and courier camp can both take 6 people working at it. It's a bit much for now. We will reduce that to 3, and courier camp to, yeah, we'll bring it down to 2. Of stockpile, we don't have a lot of goods moving around, so we'll move that down. And yeah, and that fills up the other slots. Perfect. 1 unemployed. We will put him back on the loggers camp. In fact, let's just move that to the bottom. So this jobs tab that I opened up shows you how many people are unemployed, how many builders you have, and it's a very quick way to kind of streamline your labor force. You can click on these drop downs. It'll show you all the logger camps. This primitive stockpile we click on, we have 2 of them built, so it'll show both structures. This button here allows you to jump to the location of that stockpile. And then from here, we can kind of add or subtract workers instead of manually clicking on each building. So very clean, very quality of life, beneficial to us. Wood chopper just came online, and that is probably at the bottom here. So actually, I lied about this. Awesome. And throw this guy back into logger camp. Yeah. So firewood's gonna start producing now, and that will give us an extra slot in all of these houses, and we will continue to build additional houses because we are going to need many more farmers for our kingdom to grow. The next buildings to have unlocked in the farmer structures require 40 farmers to unlock. That is the outfitter and the lumberyard. In order to get that, population growth in this game is based off your housing. Surplus of housing means population or people will migrate to your kingdom and to your total population. There's no reproduction or waiting for citizens to create babies. Some city builders I've played in the past have a whole like youth to adulthood growth system, and then where you have to like build schools and they get education, can get better jobs, that kind of thing. But this game makes it a little bit easier. Just have to build it, and they will come. So expand these out a little bit more, and we will add a couple more houses. That feels good, and that should be plenty to get us started. Yeah, and as we get firewood, this will start getting our farmer population to increase. And let's see. While we wait for that, now might be a good time to actually look at the edict. I know you start with an edict. Because I chose a different path, I do not know what this does. So cold shoulders. Cold nights can be difficult to endure. but costs must be cut somewhere. Residents will see their firewood rations halved so that the stockpile can be replenished. These chilly nights will be miserable, but conservation is necessary. The effects of this: firewood is consumed 50% less, but residents' happiness decreases by 5. Upkeep is 10 a day. That's not happening anytime soon. The cooldown for it, should we activate it and deactivate it, would be 7 days. So not something for us right this moment, but could be something should we come into a firewood shortage. As I had to get up to let my cat in. Locked her out of our office space, and she was wanting to climb into her cat tree. So sorry about that. All right. How are we doing? We still have one homeless. Okay, unfortunate fellow. But he also happens to be the one producing the firewood, so he himself can remedy this. Gonna take a quick peek at the time. 16 minutes, not bad. Should probably have a stopwatch set up somewhere within my view. I can track that a little bit better. Take a look. Oh, here we go. All right, surplus of gold. These are good things. Influence. Not 100% sure on the benefits of influence, so 55 out of 60. Lot to learn in this game, so not not completely sure what the influence does for us. We are almost at 60 out of 60, so sure we will find out very soon. Military structures, everything's locked. We are too broke to be worrying about foliage right now. This helps reduce your pollution. Pollution affects your happiness. And you're starting to see there are people joining our kingdom, and our population is starting to grow. We now have 2 unemployed, so we can look at our jobs and can start to fill out the logger camp and the courier camp back up. We can also hit the ×2 speed, kind of get this process moving a little bit quicker. And we'll also preemptively get an additional wood chopper, I think. Or what we could do, start on our farming. I think I'm gonna bring my production kind of to the north. Use this bigger area for my farms. This way and down. Logistics, we are going to need a food store for the farms. And we want overlap. That feels good there. Farmer structures, and we can probably get some apples going. Maybe, yeah. We'll get a full apple farm going. I feel our population will start to take off here as these start to get filled up with firewood. Yeah. Yeah, we'll have the labor for it. We're good for it. And now will be a good time. I can actually increase the range on our logger camp. That will keep our 6 workers plenty busy, as well as the couriers. Yeah. Put a little bit more stone in their area of influence there. And yeah, we got a kingdom starting. been good so far. See, everyone is busy, even throughout the night. Look at the torches out, getting after it, doing the work, the hard work, farmer life. Here, what do we got? No workers, eh? Let's take a look. Okay, yep. Warrior camp is completely filled because Apple Orchard was at the bottom of our priority list. So everything above is going to fill first. As new farmers come into our kingdom, they are going to fill job slots that are towards the top. So we will bring loggers back down to 4. Primitive stockpile, we can probably keep 1 still. I don't believe we have that much going on at the primitive stockpile. What do we got? Firewood. And yeah, firewood. The only real thing they're kind of pushing around the kingdom is firewood. So yeah, they're gonna be fine. They're keeping up with it. And we have apples online. Next thing we can start to look at as more farmers are coming in is some hemp, as that will be required once we reach 40 farmers. That will unlock our outfitters building, and we will start to be able to make clothing for our farmers. Apples and clothing are an advanced need that will unlock an additional slot in our houses. So we are kind of setting the foundation for that. At 60 farmers, that will become available to us. So we can get a hemp farm, which is going to require a primitive stockpile. And let's see, where does it make sense to put this? Here. There's a little bit of overlap. Oh, don't like that void space between the 3 area of influences. It's all right. That's all right. Gonna place this down. Let's see, 2 unemployed. Actually, we're just gonna make this a full farm. Full farm. All right, and we have our first event, and this will probably be a good time to end the video as soon as we finish this random event. That will get us pretty close to our mark. Introduction. So settling in, the foundations of your settlement have been laid, but much must be done to encourage its growth. Your Curia, a small group of advisors, will help you find your way. Chancellor Bodhi Declan and Duke Donovan Stanton are those who remain from the fallen king's Curia. Sir Ossian Hayward, a trusted knight and friend, has been added to round off the group. Together you must determine where best to focus your efforts in this fledgling kingdom. So, Chancellor Bodhi, the solution is easily found, Your Majesty. Without our people, we would not have come this far. Their resilience should be rewarded, instilling confidence and joy. Sir Ossian Hayward, it is true, Chancellor, that we've overcome much. The tragedies of the past are but a few steps behind us. This is why we should focus on securing and protecting what we're starting here. Only with a strong defense can we find the courage to rise once more. Yeah, I mean, I did choose vigilance. I'd have to lean with Sir Ossian Hayward. Duke, yes, Your Highness, reasonable to be certain, yet both overlooking that which most reliably maintains and grows a kingdom, its coffers. Without sufficient coin, it will be difficult to grow beyond simple thatch and stone. We must inspire the people. I don't, I don't agree with this fella here, but we are going to stick with Sir Hayward, I believe. Safety first above all else. Because I chose vigilance at the start, I think I am going to stick with that in mind. Our sovereign, we're still unfamiliar with this land. As such, we must remain on guard and procure the means to defend and fortify our fledgling kingdom. 'Twas not long since we side by side took up arms in defense of our beloved land and king. Duke Donovan Stanton, I'll never question your desire to protect Hayward, but we must first secure the settlement's wealth, as that is the key to our progress. You are both mistaken, if I may, your highness. Hayward's request may create tensions with the locals, and the Duke's, well, now isn't the time to be contemplating coin. We must establish a sense of community first. Although I do agree with his sentiment of helping the people. I'm still with Hayward on this. It'd be a close second. It would be a close second, and I just don't agree with this guy. He just looks greedy. He doesn't look. He looks like he just cares about himself. Maybe I'm just judging. Maybe I'm being a little too judgy there. We're sticking with our boy, Sir Hayward, for sure. Settling in, Sir Hayward is honored to have your support. He informs you that his troops have discovered some arms and leathers that remain from Eldamore, nestled in the back of a caravan. While they may not be of immediate benefit, in time they will prove quite valuable. We got 8 iron arms, 8 leather armor, and improved militia. Interesting. To be honest, I didn't even look at what we had options before that, but I will trust that to be true. What's improved on them? Hard to say. Hard to say. Maybe I'll have to start up another playthrough for a quick single player campaign to see what the starting militia is, but could come in handy if we become attacked. And yeah, so with that we have our housing district started. Production, baby production. We are getting the basics, and we have some potential for some food and future clothing. So we are, I'd say it's a pretty decent start. I'd say it's about as good as a start as you can have in the early game. So with that, thank you for joining. I will see you guys on episode 2 of our playthrough. We will go ahead and pause and save there. And yeah, catch you guys in the next one.